It's crazy, cause like it seems like everybody that we meet in this game is better. The way we meet, cause it's always organic. It's never like, oh, let me go network with this person or let me go network with that person. It just kind of happened, and it kind of started with an argument, cause I like fucking with people.
Yeah, I forgot what we were talking about. I think it was like some Kanye Black History shit, and I said one thing, and then he jumped in my mentions, and then like we kind of got like a little condescending towards each other, and it just like became one of those things. But then, he kept going on and kind of breaking down, our argument.
Okay.
So I had to kind of take a step back and be like, okay, like, I know what you're talking about, you know what you're talking about. So I DM'd him, like, yo, thank you for putting me on game. And then after that, we followed each other, and just every debate or every piece of information he might tweet or I might tweet, we would tweet each other. Then it became jokes. Then, I would pop down here. I remember the first time I popped down here, he took me out, went to go smoke hookah, eat some wings, whatever. Man. Yeah, and then he came to New York, took him the last lap, took him to Sahara East. So like now it's just like a give and go every time. Right. So that's why I'm here now.
So did that start like on Twitter or like?
Yeah, that really started on Twitter, like just some random shit. You wake up in the morning and like you see niggas tweeting shit and you want to jump in, and that's literally how we started. And he put me on game and some shit, so I kind of just DM'd him and said, yo, I appreciate you for exposing me to some new information.
And I know like now. Like old Twitter is old Twitter. Like everybody was like jabbing, but now I won't even go back and forth with somebody if I'm not either a fan of them or a fan of something they did already. So it was like I'll have this conversation with you because I'm a fan of what you've done, and I know you know what you're talking about.
Right.
But most of the time on Twitter, it feels like you arguing with 10-year-olds who don't know nothing.
I mean, like you got to use it to your advantage because sometimes it's fun. Like I'll be on Twitter arguing with motherfuckers if I got time. Like if I'm on a train or if I'm like smoking or whatever. If I got time to be fucking with niggas, I'll do it. But like, if it becomes a thing where it's just like, all right, this is annoying, and this dude is not, or whatever person is not giving me any kind of information, it's just showing to be a dick. Then it's like, all right, like block, mute, and that's it. Like they don't exist no more. But I'll go back and forth. I'll spar with people to have fun because it keeps your.
You gotta stay sharp.
Yeah, it keeps your mental sharp, and it's fun to do that. Like I don't want to be too serious about everything. I still want to joke with niggas and shit. So
that's in my bio. Like my bio is still crazy enough to like jokes.
Yeah, like bro, like let's do it.
It's
that's
like
why
against
Twitter
the law now.
Yeah, that's why Twitter is what it is. Like yo, we can still joke. Yeah, I know it's a lot of serious things going on, but yeah, like let's crack the jokes, but we don't gotta be offensive and
exactly.
try to cancel everybody. Like we
and
say
just
our
keep
shit.
it light.
Yeah, it's not that serious.
And the craziest part is we probably all got like a bad Kanye story. Like I have at least 3 bad Kanye stories of like personal interactions with him.
Yeah.
But I just feel like I could separate like those instances from what you did for the culture or who I feel like you are. Like I don't care what nobody say. Kanye built this whole culture that we live in now. Like this social media, the way influencers, all of this shit kind of started with Kanye, if you ask me.
I mean, Kanye, his mouthpiece has led him to certain situations and places that has either benefited him or made him look like a fucking jackass.
But you got to be willing to look like a jackass to do something great.
I mean, yeah, you do, but like I think sometimes he goes out his way to look like a jackass. But I get it. You got to sacrifice sometimes a greater good to push shit forward. And I think sometimes he talks a little bit too quickly without processing shit.
Yeah.
But that's what people like him do. Their mind works like it's warp speed. So, I understand who he is and what he's done and what he wants to do. I think his delivery on what he's trying to do is kind of skewed and kind of rubs people the wrong way. But, it is what it is. Like, it's a personal choice. You want to fuck with him, and you don't. Right. If you do.
I don't think I'm an asshole, but I think, I don't think I'm an asshole.
You are.
But I feel like if you had to put me in a box, you would put me in that. But I'm a message over messenger and message over delivery person. Some people don't get it unless it's the right messenger, or if you soft lay it. That's not really my style because I feel like I come from an era where you had to say everybody was saying the wrong shit. The shit we grew up on is cancel culture now. Like Bernie Mac and all of them, they wasn't worried about saying stuff in the most soft way so you can get it or so I don't hurt your feelings, but you still had to learn from it.
But I mean, you got to look at like the things that we grew up on, like Def Comedy Jam and like Video Music Box and BT Uncut. All these things would have been canceled at some point.
Uncut.
All these things, all these jokes, all these stand-ups would have been canceled at some point. But it's just like now, you got to watch how you say things. And you gotta watch how delicate you say it too. You know what I'm saying? And it sucks. Like I get it. I'm older, so it's like I understand like these kids and these people are just like so hypersensitive. But you gotta think, social media wasn't around when Kings of Comedy was out.
Right.
Social media wasn't around when Richard Pryor and Eddie Murphy and like, bro, none of that shit was around. So these jokes weren't circulating the next morning. You didn't hear these jokes till six months later. And then it's like, oh, well, fuck it. Now somebody says something tonight, it could be on the net at 12 a.m.
Right.
But now everybody's outraged. So it's just like, you gotta pick and choose, you know, what flavor of comedy or what flavor.
What you're willing to fight for.
What you're willing to fight for. And if you're not obligated to, but, you know, if you're gonna fight because it comes with a lot of shit. But me, I'm just like, I'm not taking everything serious. It's just, I enjoy what I enjoy who I enjoy, and I keep those people in those pockets and those situations in those pockets. And whatever noise outside of there, y'all deal with that shit.
Let me tell you what I like about you. I'm gonna try not to dominate, but what I like about you is even though you're mindful of like what's going on, you still don't mind saying stuff that you don't like, artists you don't like, music you don't like. Most people have gotten so scared to give their real opinion that shit drives me nuts.
It's a difference between saying something you don't like and disrespecting what you don't like, right? I can say, yo, I don't fuck with X, Y, and Z. I'm like, oh, this is why I don't fuck with X, Y, and Z. And I leave it at that.
Like how I feel about the J. Cole albums.
Bro, see, that's what I'm saying. Like, you can say that, but it's just like, if you keep harping on it, you keep standing on it, and you keep just like kicking it down, then it's like, all right, you got a personal vendetta. Whole thing with Drake, right? A lot of people know me. A lot of people know I always give Drake a hard time.
You do.
I give Drake a hard time, yeah. But did niggas not give Hov a hard time? Did niggas not give Nas a hard time? We just didn't see it because it was on social media. I'm sure in every barbershop across
But
America.
Jay-Z said, I just read a magazine article that fucked up my day.
That's what I'm saying. So like, it's been there. I'm just being vocal about it because one, it's funny, but two, I can acknowledge that this nigga is one of the greatest to do it. I can acknowledge this nigga does take chances, but then I can also say that shit is whack.
Do you think is it easier to talk about, like, to be? It's certain people I feel like they're so nice or their brand is so nice that people feel like you're never supposed to say a bad word about them. Like Beyonce. I just think Beyonce amazing. Right. But you can't talk about Beyonce on the internet. You can't talk about J. Cole on the internet. You can't talk about black women on the internet. You can't talk about, who else in that?
Rihanna.
You really can't though. You really can't. You can't have a conversation about Rihanna like that.
LeBron.
Yeah, LeBron. That's the option.
I'm always at LeBron.
I'm just saying, like, those are the people that get the hypersensitive reaction.
No matter what it is, you could be 100% right.
Right. But it's just like, again, it goes back to my point about not being disrespectful. Like, if I'm critiquing your art or whatever you're, promoting, whatever you're good at or bad at, whatever, like, I'm attacking that.
That's it.
And that's it. Like, I'll joke on Drake and his braids. Cool, everybody does. I'll joke on LeBron and his hair. Everybody does. You know what I mean? But that's common shit. Now, when we're talking about sports, when we're talking about stats, when we're talking about this, that, and the third, bro, it's laid out. When we talk about classic albums with Drake, subjective, but it's laid out. His body of work is impeccable. When we talk about Beyonce, one of the greatest to ever do it. Does she have the best voice? Maybe not, but that's subjective as well. But
I was having an argument today because somebody was trying to tell me. I said, of course, everybody been talking about the Wale, J. Cole shit with the verses. And I said J. Cole is not a hit maker. And this nigga was going back and forth with me about
anybody who has say that.
He just went diamond. I'm like, he's still not a hit maker.
Yeah, we're not talking about hits. That's just like a loyal fan base and a cult following that knows that, when Cole drops, we add to library. When Cole drops a concert, purchase the ticket. When Cole drops a festival, purchase the ticket. Doesn't mean he can't make songs. We just know that there's a certain group of people that are just enamored with everything he does. Cole and the Toronto League, boom, we're there.
No matter what.
Yeah, no matter what. But we know, if I look on Billboard Hot 100,
he might be there twice.
He might be there twice out of the whole year. But if I look at Wale shit, that man's gonna pen a good song, give you a good hook, or give you
every album he gonna get a top.
He gonna give you something.
He gonna give you a single.
So that's the difference. Hitmaker, and Wale got his cult following too. But we know, everybody who listens to music, who's a fan of music, knows there's a big distinction between J. Cole and Wale. Are they both barred? They can bar you up? Yes, but Wale is more of a complete artist to me as opposed to what J. Cole is.
I agree. And I went to the very first. I went to the very first Dollar in a Dream tour.
Friday Night Lights.
When Friday Night Lights dropped, I was living in Raleigh, which is 60 miles from Fayetteville.
Right.
It's no way I'm not a J. Cole fan. I just could tell the truth. And that's what we was talking about with Hovan. Yeah. Hovan was like, I shouldn't critique niggas publicly.
Why?
Because I could change somebody's opinion on them. And I'm like, that's the risk you run, right?
But isn't that isn't that what we signed up for? To debate and have healthy conversation and for you to say something that I didn't look at like that before and then you give me another perspective. I'm like, oh shit. Maybe I was a little bit blind to certain things. Yeah. That's what social media is for. I don't understand.
I think the thing for Hov is, when we have these conversations and, let's just say it's like negative or whatever, it's taking money away from that artist's pocket when we could have just kept quiet the whole time. I think that's the thing that he mentioned. He actually said that verbatim on the show.
Yeah, but when I say something good about him, nigga ain't sending me a finder's fee.
Do I get $1 because I said, yo, such and such album is 5 mics and it's classic and all right, so where's my royalties? Where's my publishing?
I just feel like you gotta tell the truth. And I feel like when you really care about it, like we would have had these same arguments in 2011 before you could even go viral.
I think it'd have been a little bit more direct and a little bit more, at your neck. But it's like, what are we talking about? Like, did niggas get this mad when they didn't get rated 5 mics in the Source magazine? You know what I mean? Did niggas get this mad when, they weren't nominated for an award back in the day or Soul Train Award, whatever the case is? Like, now why is it so hypersensitive when it says, hey, I don't like that?
Right.
Not that I don't like you, I don't like what you just put out.
That's it.
And then I can tell you why, and then hopefully the next piece of work is going to be a little bit better. But if I didn't give a fuck, that shit would hurt your feelings even more.
But I also feel like the artists play a part in it, and this is probably where I'm gonna get like some flack. Like I feel like to be a superstar, it's 90% brand and 10% output, right? Mm-hmm. J. Cole has branded himself so well. Like he only talked to Angie Martinez. Mm-hmm. He knows she's not gonna give him no hard questions. So his fan base is not even used to him being challenged. So whenever you really, she love him, and I love Angie. Angie Martinez is one of the GOAT, right? But Angie now handles artists like a mother. Yeah. Like she gonna give you all the nurture as long as you ain't doing no real crazy stuff.
But she's like, you gotta think, like you just said, she's one of the greatest. Angie's been doing that for about 30 years. She been getting at niggas for a minute. Got at Hov a couple times. Got at a lot of people. So
and beef with them, and miss some press runs.
Yeah. So now at this point, it's just like, all right, what else do I got to prove? Like, what else is there? Like, I went toe to toe with some of y'all greatest.
So now I'm just a fan.
I just want to, make people feel comfortable because, like, when these artists go up to these radio stations or podcasts or whatever the case is, that comfort level is not there. Angie has established a comfort level that a lot of artists never had when they talk to the media. Like, I've never seen Jay so comfortable talking to somebody other than Angie Martinez. You know what I mean? Or Elliot Wilson.
Or Elliot.
Right? But Angie,
he's more comfortable with Angie still, though.
That's where everything that Jay went through, but everything that happened with Jay, a lot of things that he went right to Angie, went right to Hot 97, and sat there for like 2 or 3 hours.
After R. Kelly got maced, he went straight
to Angie. So it's like, if you don't have that level of comfort, then I'm not talking to you.
And the fact that we know that,
but I studied her. I studied Angie.
And we studied the game.
Yeah.
So like the fact we know that, this what? Best of Awards what? 01?
This is like.
Yeah, it's 01?
Yeah, I think I was in college still. Yeah,
You old as shit.
I know. I'm 39.
But the fact that we know that without no social media and we immediately remember that's why I think I have the license to say whatever the fuck I want because I've been in it that long, even if I wasn't in it professionally. I cared about it.
Your license is valid as long as you keep renewing why you should be valid. And what I mean by that is proving to people why you have these experiences, whether it's talking about Angie Martinez or is it talking about Charlemagne? Was it talking about Cole? Was it talking about Big L? Like, if you can weave through that, then yeah, your license should be renewed.
Don't get me on my Big L takes.
I'm just saying, like, if you can go, if you can go up and down, left and right, then yeah, your license should be. You should be able to say what you want.
And I'm fair. Like, I feel like, just so we can kind of put a pin on it, I think J. Cole album is one of the best. This last album is one of the best rap albums in maybe the last 3-4 years. Maybe 5. Like, I really have to think about it. Whenever Damn and 444, that was the last year of great rap albums to me.
I wouldn't say the best.
I said one of the best.
I'm not putting it above It's Almost Dry. I'm not putting it above Forlorn 2. I'm not putting
it better than Almost Dry either, but that came out after.
I'm just saying, you said the last 3 or 4 years.
You right.
I'm just saying. But
We both biased to Wale and Push too, though.
I'm not biased. I could tell you when Wale does some shit I don't like, and I can tell you when Push does some shit I don't like. But I'm just saying, like,
I don't think Push.
Why are we biased when we say we love something? Why are we biased?
I don't know.
Wale
is my favorite.
Do y'all get biased when you say, yo, Beyonce, her 4 is one of the greatest, or whatever? Like, y'all don't hear the bias with y'all, right? So why is it when we say, yo, Wale's 4 and 2 is, yeah, that's my man, but I can tell, like, yeah, the other joints might be in whack, but
I'm biased to Wale. Wale my favorite out of his class, and I think that I'm one of the minorities there. But I'll take Wale over Drake. I'll take Wale over everybody in his class,
and that's fine. But bro, it has to be stopped with, well, you like him, like, bro, this is what I like. This is what I like. I don't understand where do we go wrong in what we like?
Right.
Where did that happen?
Right.
Twitter.
You know what I mean?
So let's pivot.
Let's pivot.
Yeah, I'm just like, I hate that. I just.
So the show is called Change Agents, really highlighting different people in the community that really bring change. So we ain't really talk about this, but you know, tell the people that's watching like a little bit more about you, where you at right now. How did you get to that point?
You want the long version or the short version?
Long version.
Long version?
Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna be here for a minute. All right, so I'll start South Brooklyn High School. That's where I graduated from. I started a show called TNT with one of my best friends. It was like a video show. We would interview students, play music videos, and it was cool. So that's where I developed the love of talking, being a personality, right? So I was playing basketball. I was a pretty good point guard for 4 years varsity. Then I went to Morgan State University.
Okay.
Be more.
Got an academic scholarship there for 2 years. A lot of people don't know that, but their communication program was horrible. They didn't have an FM station. They only had AM. And that was like their sports, jazz, all that shit.
Wow.
So I transferred to Howard. That was my first choice, but my grades weren't good enough. So I transferred to Howard. Got to Howard. That's when I got into radio. I had a radio show.
Did you play ball at Howard?
No,
Okay,
I
cool.
had no coordination.
Gotcha.
At
Okay, cool.
that point, I lost it all.
Yeah.
You gave it all up.
Gave it all up, yeah.
I feel it.
So I got to Howard, and I got a radio show at WHBC. That's the college radio station, 8:30 a.m. It's called Live and Direct. So I did it every Thursday and just played music, had people call in. But that's when my love for radio started to really, really pick up. So I did that, graduated, got the on-air personality for all black colleges on the East Coast the year I graduated. So then I'm like, oh, okay, I'm feeling myself, right? So go back home, send my air check to like Hot 97, Power 105, crickets.
Right.
Right,
What year is this?
This is 2006.
Okay.
2006. So then my mom was like, you either get a job or I'm moving you down to Maryland with your aunt. So got a job at the Doubletree Hotel, front desk manager for about 3 years. About 2000. At that time, you heard that new, creating that shit, updating the website at the front desk, getting
Checking that shit every 2
yeah.
hours.
That was my calling card into the industry.
Gotcha.
Leaking music, talking shit. No one knew who I was. Called myself Lowkey. Twitter was just boiling over, right?
Yeah.
So we didn't know what that was, but we just knew the blogs were the
Right.
rolling stone for all new artists, the Wale's, the Kid Cudis, Cole's, Drake's, everything, so on and so forth. 2008, BET comes calling. So I get a job over there as a writer. So I'm traveling, interviewing artists, doing all sorts of shit, just starting trouble on their blog and starting trouble just in the industry, going to open bar parties, just didn't know what the fuck the industry was, drinking, just doing all types of dumb shit, but it was fun.
Right.
Get laid off in 2011, me and my best friends started a party called Henny Palooza. That party started because my man Cam, he lived on the east side of Harlem, 116th and Pleasant. We started the basement party. It was just a game night. Niggas was broke. We couldn't do nothing for New Year's Eve. So we said, yo, just invite people over. The only piece of admission is fried chicken and Hennessy, right? So snowing outside, everybody just lined up outside with bottles of Hennessy.
Y'all owe Luda a check, but keep going.
True. So yeah, like people just came, and my man Cass said to me while we're at the party, we're playing cards, we're playing, Uno and Connect Four. He was like, yo, turn the lights out and let's dance. So I'm like, you sure? He was like, yo, just move the tables. It's like a room like this. He was like, yo, just move the tables, turn the lights off, and just turn the music up. So my man Austin Mills and my other guy Genius and HD,
shout out to Austin.
They were DJing. Bro, that shit turned up. Whole night was fun, crazy. Started a hashtag on Twitter, Henny Palooza. My man Fox Files wakes up in the morning and says, yo, look at the hashtag. Everybody was like, what is Henny Palooza? What is this? What is this? What is this? Why was I invited? Like, when's the next one? So, long story short with that, started touring for about 5 years. We went everywhere, DC, San Francisco, LA.
Y'all broke a floor here. You remember that?
That was where? That was at... Was that the one with Drama?
Yeah. They caved the floor.
Yeah.
Caved the floor at a house.
Yeah.
Like caved the whole main level down to the basement.
We've had...
I was there.
We've had a lot of people just between Henny Palooza, Nipsey performed, Wale, Dave East, Drama, Swiss Beats, Just Blaze, The Locks, like the list goes on and on and on. Mm-hmm. And then 2016, Jacobs called for producing. And I remember this vividly like it was yesterday. I was just moving into my new apartment in Harlem. We're out celebrating, and me and Cam had a meeting with Lenny, I think, a couple days prior. Lenny calls us, he texts us, he was like, yo, 911, answer the phone, I'm calling y'all three-way. We was like, what the fuck is going on? This nigga calls and says, Jay's asking about y'all. Jay wants, like, whatever it is, get on there. And here's the kicker, he didn't know that me, Lenny, and Cam had met prior to. He just, like, something in his head said, yo, I need them. Why are they not over here with us?
Right.
So that relationship starts, another tour forms, and we're just running around the country. At the same time, I'm starting my job at Apple Music. And around 7 years ago, this is my 7-year anniversary. Yeah, Ebro was one of the first anchors in New York. It was Ebro, Zane Lowe, and Julie Adenuga. Those were the three anchors. Julie was in London, Zane was in LA, and Ebro was in New York. So at the time Duce Palooza is transitioning, I'm starting at Apple Music.
Gotcha.
So since then, after that, it was just a whirlwind. Did shit with Trap Karaoke, and pretty much just, So that's pretty much my story.
So a question I want to ask.
Sorry if that was fast and confusing, but...
No, it wasn't confusing at all. That explained a lot for me, but go ahead.
I think this is like a staple question I want to keep for the show. When you got into the game, was there something you saw that you knew you wanted to change? Like, did you see a void or did you just love it? Or both?
For me, it was just I loved it. Because I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. I didn't know what the fuck a day party was. I didn't know what...
I don't think it existed.
I didn't know what any of this shit was, bro. We was just throwing paint at the wall to see if it stuck and what it would look like. That's how Henny Palooza was created. You know what I mean? Like, that's how you heard that news created. I just threw some shit at the wall and it stuck. And I enjoyed it. And it just happened to make me money and put me in different positions and put me with different people. And I just kind of just milked it and just did what I had to do. But it was something I loved to do. It wasn't a money grab.
Yeah.
I wasn't making nothing. When I started You Heard That News, I didn't make shit for about 4 or 5 years. Living on my mom's couch, working at Doubletree Hotel.
And was probably ducking niggas because you was leaking new shit.
Well, no, but see, that's the thing. I wasn't, at the time when I started, I wasn't going to New York. I was just in Jersey. So niggas didn't know. That's why I was like, all right, I had a safe haven. It's like, niggas ain't know who I was. But when it came to BET, niggas was like, oh, you that Lowkey nigga. I got pressed by Jeezy. I got pressed by Fab. I Had pressed by Ross.
All over leaks?
All over leaks and how I critique music.
Yeah, but that's what I love just like.
Yeah.
Cause like I went to I ain't gonna lie, I had like my staples. I'm gonna tell you what cause I'm blog era heavy. I can make an argument that blog era is the best era ever in hip hop.
I mean, to me, I wouldn't agree, but I would say the 90s.
I ain't saying blog era is the best music. I'm saying it's the best era.
In regards to experience.
Everything.
Okay.
Like if you put the 90s or late 90s music here, you could put blog era here. A
little bit
but
lower.
I think the experience of what everybody was able to do and how organic it was, I don't think you ever get that because it was like the beginning of not having gatekeepers where everybody could just do shit and nobody was worried about their likes or, you didn't have to make money off of everything.
All we was worried about was beating niggas, posting a song first, putting niggas on to a new artist, and getting a link back.
I feel like that's the biggest thing that's lost though. Like putting people on to new art. As much as I love rap, I don't get excited about new artists anymore.
I
feel like it's too many of them.
No, you know who I'm excited about? I don't mean to divert, but Glorilla. She just signed.
Shout out, she signed Yo Gotti today, right?
She signed a CMG. I'm excited about her because her tone is ridiculous. Her energy is infectious. And I feel like that's just something a shift that's happening. Her and Flo Milli, like those
I was about to say that. Her period now reminds me of when Flo Milli first got her.
Yeah, Flo Milli came out the gate in Alabama and niggas was like, what the fuck? I'm like, those two, and no disregard to, Lotto City Girls and Stand the Third, but those two, I like their energy way, like it's just fun to watch them.
I think,
speaking of female artists, I don't know if you heard of Scholar Black?
I've heard of Scholar Black.
Yeah. I'm not too in depth, I'm not too knowledgeable, but I definitely heard.
She on the way too, like she got a crazy sound. I think she's from Chicago, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
I don't know where she's from. I think you sent me the link.
Yeah, but she's got like a crazy cadence.
No, I'll check it out. But yeah, Flo Milli and Glorilla, they got my attention.
But one of my mentors said, if you want to get rich, find something you'll do for free.
Yeah, I've been doing a lot of shit for free.
But I feel like that's why the game kind of is funky now, because a lot of people don't want to do nothing for free. Like everything has to have a dollar amount, and that kind of kills the.
Well, I mean, and you gotta blame, you blame a lot of this shit on social media because people see results without knowing the process, right? So like they may look at me and be like, oh, Lo, you on Apple Music and you doing interviews and you traveling this and the third. Like, bro, do you know what I was doing in 2009?
Right.
Do you know what I was doing in 2015? I appreciate the support and I appreciate the aspirations of I want to do that too. But it's like,
it's peaks and valleys to
bro,
this
my
shit.
nails is dirty. I got scars and bruises and bumps and blood and you don't know what the nights where I couldn't eat and then sacrificing friendships and arguing with my girl and this, that, and the third. And you think, just because you see it, because you see me post on Instagram, I just celebrated my 7-year anniversary, you think it's going to be easy to get to that?
Nah.
What are we talking about? There's no process anymore. Everything is just oh, well, he got 100,000 followers. I want that too. And I'm popular. Bro, come on, bro.
Right.
If you really understood what niggas was going through, what we really sacrificed for this shit, you would turn and walk right out that door.
And go find something. Something
soft. Nigga. And I'm not trying to disrespect niggas and what they do, but it's just bro, y'all process is way different from what we've been doing. So.
Don't really understand what it really takes, bro.
What you love. Like you say, if you love it, you'll do it for free.
Yeah.
You're doing this shit for free for mad long.
Right.
The looks.
Right.
This is good exposure.
I hate the
now.
But you gotta do them.
Don't hit me with that.
But you gotta do them on the way up.
You do. On the way up, yeah, of course. Now I respect my cloth. But yeah, if you starting out trying to get where I'm at, yeah, you want to do these looks.
Yeah.
You want to do these shows for $100 or $250 or
for
for some clothes or whatever. Yeah, you gotta do that shit. So
what would you change now? If you had to key in on one thing, what would you change?
What would I change?
About hip hop or just about being an on-air personality? Which I feel like, other than just the fact that people don't see the process, there's the next wave of people are gonna find something that's missing.
I would study my the people that came before me. I would study them a lot more. understand their story, where they came from, their methods, their craft, how they take care of their craft, how they study their craft. I'd pay way more attention to those guys that I looked up to.
You know what I think, and rest in peace, Comeback, man. Comeback Jack show was amazing for that.
Comeback was the one.
It was amazing for that.
The one. Comeback was the one that really set the tone for all this shit. And it's just like, that's who you study. If you're trying to be the podcaster or the personality, that's one of those guys you study. To me, him, Ebro, Storm Buck Wild, like, you study those guys that shook the table.
You know who I study? Which is like
Wendy Williams even, and like
somebody that people probably not going. It's not gonna be like a.
I'm just saying, like, bro, the game that we're in right now is like she helped kind of.
She built it.
She built that. Like Charlamagne, like he was the predecessor from her. So it's like.
And she was the first one to have like a rumor mill
or
on
even,
radio.
Even Miss Jones, Miss Info. Those. If that's where you want to, if that's the direction you want to go in, then yeah, you study those people.
I study Vlad, and a lot of people hate Vlad, right?
Cool.
And I don't like Vlad as a personality. I study his system. Like, a lot of people don't realize it, right? Like, after we put this out, after we finish this, we're gonna edit it, chop it up, and we're gonna put out a clip, then we're gonna put out the main episode. That's not what Vlad do.
That's what everybody do.
That's not what Vlad do.
Vlad just dump it.
No, he don't.
What do you do? I mean, I don't watch this shit.
So let's say, I don't either. He was on Brilliant Idiots, and I was listening to, Charlamagne had him on Brilliant Idiots last week. Okay. But, so say we got an hour interview.
Right.
Vlad is gonna put out clips for a month before he put out a full interview. The only way you get the full interview is if you're paying his subscription fee out the gate. But he'll put out a 3-minute clip and just cycle clips.
But look at the attention span of what this climate is. That works.
That's genius for this time.
I mean, because I always see clips. I'm like, yo, where's this?
Where's the interview?
But I always see those clips that just gravitate to people. Like Bootsy had a clip, not a clip, like thousands of clips. Tony Yayo just had a clip. I'm like, when are these interviews? Like, when do these shits happen?
Where is it?
Yeah.
And why he got 9 Bootsy interviews? But then
it's the one interview.
It's the one interview, and he pays some of them on retainer to like come and do like.
It's supply and demand.
Yeah. But it's smart because nobody like him.
No, it is smart. I don't fuck with the nigga at all, but I get it. I respect the business model.
As Vlad, what was the Ross line?
Fuck a blog, dog, because one day we gonna meet.
And then he said, ask one punch and get you 300K or something like that. I'm sorry, I'm fucking up the Ross in my.
No, but I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. Yeah, that happens. Like that's. I've gotten approached. I got approached by Jeezy one time. Jeezy was putting out TM 103, and he put out like 2 or 3 records.
That's the one with Bankroll, right?
No, that's Trap or Die Free. TM 103 is I do.
Okay, yeah.
So he had put out 2 records, like, and I had a little show called not me, but it's called Jump Off TV. So it's like me, my homegirl Jazz, rest in peace, Val, Mecca,
Jazz Fly,
yeah, one of my best friends.
The GOAT, rest in peace.
So we were listening to the Jeezy records, and we were like, yo, this shit is trash, shit is ass, man, like this shit is whack. So 2 or 3 months later, my man DJ Folk, former A&R with Jeezy, says like, yo, they're having a listening session, they want you to pull up. I was like, all right, bet. I go by myself, it's in the studio, album's playing, album sounding really good, this, that, and the third. So I think AR-15, who was Jeezy's A&R as well, comes up to me and says, yo, somebody wants to meet you. So my drunk ass is thinking like, oh, some chick is here, this, that, and the third, like being oblivious at the time because I don't fucking know no better. Yeah, so I walk over and then this is dark, bald-headed nigga like in a corner is him. Nigga daps me up like this.
And pulls you
and pulls me in. She's like, what you think of the album now, nigga? And I folded like some fresh pair of clothes. I said, yo, that shit fire.
You're a real nigga because you admitted you folded.
No, but it was good. Like, it was good. Like, from what I heard, when we heard that night, it was good. But yeah, like, I don't know if that's him flexing or him like trying to like say like, I know you're one of those guys. I need to know what you think.
What you think?
You know what I'm saying? Like the way he presented it seemed like it was flexing. But the more I think about it over time, I'm like, yeah, if they didn't want me there, like nigga, I would have been there.
Right.
And it would have went past that.
And it would have, it would have been somewhere else. So, yeah, that was, Jeezy was, still to this day, I love Jeezy's one of my favorite artists, but I was a little rattled.
But that can happen in this business too.
And it does. It does, but like, think about it now. Niggas want smoke. Niggas
I can't imagine Lupe pressing me, but it might happen.
All right.
I love Lupe, dog, but I'm just gonna say when an album is bad. I don't.
That's what I'm saying. When can we? When did it say we can't?
Do you think I would tell you if one of your videos is bad?
Yeah.
That's all that matters. As long as I'm being consistent.
And you would tell.
So I'll say this: what I decide to do with that information you tell me, I can't really internalize shit you say. Like it's your opinion.
That's it. Like,
and you might think it's fire and be like, this nigga don't know shit about videos.
Right.
Oh, I hear you. But I don't agree.
Yeah.
And now we tuck that away.
Right.
And now we go, all right, we out. We go out to eat. And that's that. But I feel like people take everything so personal. Like
they do.
I could tell him like, man, I ain't like that episode. Or he could tell me, yo, y'all was bullshitting on that Say Less episode.
Right.
And I'm like, yo, why you think that? This, that. All right, cool. Next, I'll take that and I'll put it in this compartment.
Right.
I'll bring it back to the team like, yo, we got to sharpen up on this. And we got to make sure like somebody of value is saying we bullshit.
Right.
But if I don't agree with you, then thank you.
And I love you and Cash. So
that's what I'm saying.
I don't know Rosie, but if I told y'all had I felt like it was a bad attitude, a bad episode, it's not me.
It's not
hating.
Malicious.
Yeah, it's not malicious at all.
Like when you
I could love all 300 before that.
You can, critiquing art is not malicious. The further or the way you critique art is malicious. I can say I don't like Drake's Honestly Nevermind. And I can say, hey, house and dance music is not for me. But I get it and I understand it. Now, if I say, man, that nigga's soft, that nigga's pussy, then it's like, now, you being malicious.
That's just some hating ass shit.
Now you just a hating ass nigga.
Right.
But if nigga, he sold what, 200, 300,000 first week?
First week.
He could take that shit to Ibiza, Spain, he could take that everywhere. I recognize it.
Right.
For me, it's not.
Right.
But I'm not being malicious like, man, I'm not gonna hear this fucking European white shit.
Right.
Like, bro,
right.
like, hip-hop is expanding. Hip-hop is, is evolving. Like, how am I gonna get mad at one of the greatest artists when he wants to expand and have fun?
Do something else.
Like, what the it ain't for me, though.
And I feel like if I'm Drake, fuck y'all. Y'all always
fuck y'all niggas.
Y'all always say my albums ain't classic no matter what I do.
Right,
so honestly, never mind.
Right.
Yeah, he got them titles.
Bro, he knows what he doing.
He do.
He knows exactly what he doing. He knows the albums, his moves, the comments spark these conversations.
Right.
Do you have a Jay-Z album that you don't like?
Yeah, fucking Kingdom Come.
I'll argue niggas to death over this.
And Magna Carta Holy Grail. Those two albums can kick rocks.
When the last time you listened to Kingdom Come?
Exactly.
No, I'm asking.
Probably like my birthday in 2015.
Why didn't?
I don't know, I was drunk.
Did it sound different?
No, it's just like there's nothing about that album that I don't remember, because I remember the joint with him and Chrisette Michelle. That was good. The joint with him and John Legend. Those two were good.
Shout out to Emery.
Shout out to Emery. Oh My God was good. Outside of those three records, I'm cool.
I love Kingdom Come. I only don't like I don't want Usher and Jay-Z nowhere near each other.
No. Yeah, the Hollywood?
Nowhere. No, that was Beyonce. They gonna get you. The Usher record was anything.
Both of those records are bad.
And they right in the middle of the album.
They right in that little pocket too.
You can take them two out, but I always say that too. Like, I love Wale Ambition. A lot of albums are sequence problems.
Yeah.
Like, he got that white linen. It's a Cuddy. It's like 2 or 3 records in the middle that you'll lose somebody on.
Right.
That's how I feel about Kingdom Come. But I feel like anytime an album changes the direction, it's gonna be hated. Like, I feel like
sequence?
No, anytime they change the direction of where music is at that time.
Oh.
So I feel like Kingdom Come was Jay-Z's Honestly Nevermind. Like, it was just so far different from what, not sonically per se.
Oh, I can't agree with that.
Man, Kingdom Come was him really going into grown man rap. And you got to think, Kingdom Come is
So American Gangster wasn't?
That's after.
Oh, that is after. You're right.
Kingdom Come is 06.
Yes. I think so.
Trap, TM10, like we coming off.
Trap music is like,
we coming off, we
06.
high trap music,
Yeah.
we high Lil Wayne,
Yeah.
even 50.
50 was, yeah.
Because Massacre is what, 05?
Yeah. Yeah, you're right.
The documentary is 05.
And you gotta think, this was when Jay was supposed to retire.
Be retired.
And then he comes back and does like the Budweiser shit, so it's kind of funky, like what the fuck is
But
this?
it changed the game. That's the beginning of brand partnerships. A lot of people don't pay attention to that.
You would have more expertise about that than I would.
So now I always tell people, because I manage rappers and I probably shouldn't be getting this away for free, but Kingdom Come is the introduction of brand partnerships funding albums, like solely. Mm-hmm. So Kingdom Come is Anheuser-Busch,
Budweiser. The Ace.
It wasn't even Ace yet. It was just Budweiser. You remember he had I could see this shit vividly. He had the playoff commercial. He ride in the Maybach.
Yes.
He had that. American Gangster was with a movie.
The movie soundtrack. Well, technically the movie soundtrack.
The movie soundtrack.
This is his best album, but we can table that.
Ooh. Yeah, we're going to talk about that. But we don't have that. We're going to have it on camera, though.
Yeah.
What's after that? Blueprint 3?
Horrible album.
Blueprint 3 is Samsung?
No, that's
no, Magna Carta Samsung.
Magna Carta Samsung, yeah.
Blueprint 3 had something. It might have had.
I can't remember. But I see the direction.
Magna Carta is Samsung.
The one where they sold the albums, 1 million albums for sale.
With all the producers, and BBC was trash.
Clearly.
And what came after that? I'm drawing a blank. 444 is Sprint, right?
Yeah.
So what Jay-Z essentially did was
change the business model.
He changed the business model. I don't need a record deal.
Right.
I'm gonna sign a brand deal to fund the album and buy the album.
And then
I'm gonna sign a tour deal for the rest.
Nation, yeah.
For the rest.
Yeah.
So all these artists which
I think Drake is following too, because he did the same thing with that the Sony deal.
Yeah, but he had to do it late because his deal, he had so many albums on his deal. Yeah. That's why he just started doing double albums and all this other stuff. Right. Which is why Chris Brown doing it too. I don't care what nobody says. But they just brand deals. Like PG Lane is a brand deal.
Yeah.
You ain't seen nothing else attached to PG Lane except for Calvin Klein.
I didn't see that.
The first thing you seen from PG Lane, they did a compilation album of Calvin Klein. They had like 8 or 9 songs.
Really? And
it was attached to a Calvin Klein ad. This type of shit I pay attention to. I'm crazy.
Well, no, you have to, because that's the structure you're in.
Yeah, but nobody's paying attention to it. So they'll get mad that, Jay-Z got 1 million copies sold out the gate or whatever. Mm-hmm. But it's literally, I'm gonna go partner with these brands, these corporations who have no investment into trying to own me for the rest of my life. They want a revenue split off of this project for this amount of time. Mm-hmm. And I get to own my music, I do what I want to do, and I'm still gonna make more money than the average person.
And have new eyes on.
And I'm gonna have new eyes.
Yeah.
And then everybody follows it, even though they hate it.
Right.
So people are saying, "Oh shit." Some people hate 444, but everybody done did bus promos since then.
Yeah.
He was the first one to do it. They was rapping buses with nobody even knew what the album was. Now everybody you turn around, they got a bus promo. They got the Billboard promo. Yeah. Like all of this. Anytime you change the guard, though, you're gonna get hated, but everybody's gonna follow what you do. Yeah. And Kanye do that every time he drops.
Back to
Kanye. It's a couple niggas that do it. Drake is starting to get into that bag.
Nah, Drake been doing that. Billboards and rapping shit and bringing, like, just putting shit up. Like, nah, Drake been doing that shit.
But you know what, though?
Drake been doing that.
You know what's crazy to me? Drake and Wayne, to me, do the worst brand partnerships.
Wayne doesn't have to.
He should have.
He don't need to.
Yeah,
Wayne,
he do.
Wayne is not even the artist that looks like that could even deliver a brand asset.
Why?
Look at him.
Why?
That's not appealing.
Wayne could have sold white T-shirts in 06.
He could have. Cool. That's what's up. But there's nothing appealing about Lil Wayne. Why do we love Lil Wayne?
Hold on, now or in his prime?
Never to me. Wayne was just an authentic you know.
Dog, Wayne could have sold lighters.
That's true. But
Wayne could have sold anything, bro. I remember 50 Cent said after Get Rich or Die Trying, he said, I could have put out a blank CD. When you that hot, you could put out whatever you want.
But what I'm saying is Wayne didn't give a fuck. Wayne had no, I think Wayne didn't have a business mindset where it's like, oh, I'm gonna use these resources to do X, Y, and Z. 50 Cent had a business mindset. Kanye has a business mindset. Drake has a business mindset. Cole, a little bit.
I think they all.
Wayne just never gave a fuck.
Is that baby fault?
That's a different conversation.
I think so.
That's information that wasn't exposed to Wayne at a time where the nigga started at 12 years old. That nigga wasn't thinking about nothing about business.
I was about to say, I think Wayne's just like an artist. Like
that nigga is just an animal.
He is, that's it.
I think Kanye was that too until Dame said, no, nigga, you gonna learn this business.
Yeah, Baby, I think to me, this is not, I'm not trying to like start any kind of conspiracy shit. I think Baby and Slim kept that shit away from them. Why do you think everyone in that circle was fucked up business-wise?
Yeah, I think Wayne should have went to the Rock.
But I feel like Wayne was just an animal by nature.
Yeah.
He was a freak of nature lyrically. You cranking out 84 songs a night and you doing 3 mixtapes, the drought 1, 2, 3, squad up, the drought is over, 500, like you doing all this shit and you think for 1 second he thinking about a business brand deal?
Right.
Bro, give me the beat.
Yeah.
And y'all take care of that shit.
Right. That's how it was.
I ain't never seen no nigga like that.
Is Wayne in your top 5?
Not my top 5, but if you say he's in the top 5, I'm like, I get it.
What's your top 5?
My top 5 right now, it changes all the time, but I'll give it as Jay.
My 5th spot changed, but don't let nothing else change.
Jay, Nas, Q,
okay.
Snoop.
Okay.
You're such an old nigga.
Pusha, and Kiss.
So that's
it changes, but that it rotates. It rotates a lot.
Jay, Big, Nas, Scarface, and then the 5th always change.
So who's the 5th right now?
My heart want to say Kanye.
What is your mindset?
But my mind says Ross.
I'm at that debatable.
And it's the consistency. I can't put Wayne in my top 5 or Andre 3000 in my top 5 for different reasons.
I know why you probably say Andre 3000 not in your top 5. I want to say why you say Wayne not in your top 5. Because Andre's reason is a lot of people's reason.
I'm finna go viral.
So I want to hear. All right, so tell me why.
Tell
me why Wayne is not in your top 5.
Wayne's best music was made with reference tracks.
Wayne's best music was made with reference tracks?
Yeah.
Expand on that.
So, what's a reference track?
A reference track?
What's Drake's reference tracks?
Oh, the shit, if you're reading this too late, those are the reference tracks.
10 bands, all of those, right?
Yeah, those are reference tracks.
What's Wayne's best music? What does everybody say his best music is? His mixtape shit, right?
Right.
It's all jacket for, it's literally reference tracks.
No.
Listen, hold on.
No, don't do that. Don't do that.
Let's go to one specific.
So now, hold on. So now what you're saying is now you're taking away 50 Cent's presence.
No,
because that's the same thing.
No, because 50 Cent's best music is not his mixtapes.
All right, so
his best music is his album.
Okay, but those mixtapes established.
That's to y'all.
That's to you too.
You ever heard of 50? Not me, because I'm New York based. You ever heard of 50 Cent mixtape?
Yeah, I heard.
Okay.
Name one. Name one.
I can't name one right now.
So it's not classic to you.
I've heard it.
But you've heard it.
Yeah, I've heard it.
You ever heard of 50 Cent mixtape? Any of y'all?
Where you from? Okay, he wouldn't. Where you from? Have you heard of 50 Cent mixtape?
Now, I'm insane.
So now I'm the isolated one hearing this. Okay.
But I'm insane, right?
Go ahead.
I'm insane where it was like, dog, I'm a Jay-Z fan since 98. So everything in New York meant something to me too. But down here, 50 Cent is the future. I smell none of them got down here.
Of course Wayne gonna be down here,
no,
bro.
No, so what I'm saying is, we know 50 Cent down here for Get Rich or Die Trying. Now,
but your argument is not that.
Is there a 50 Cent mixtape that's better than that?
Then Get Rich or Die Trying?
Yes.
No.
How many Wayne mixtapes are better than his albums? All of them.
No, because Carter 3 and Carter 2 are pretty prolific. Those mixtapes...
I'll give you Carter 2.
Those mixtapes are just like...
Is Carter 3 better than Drought 3?
Yes.
You one of the few people that say it.
Yes. But I'm not the only one.
So you think that's his best work, Carter 3?
Between Carter 3 and Carter 2, I think that... Between those two, I think that's some best work.
I think across the board, most people say Wayne mixtape. I want the mixtape Wheezy. Everybody talk about mixtape Wheezy,
And
right?
I want American Gangsta Hov. Can I get that all the time? No. What am I supposed to do?
But my point is, if widely known,
it's subjective, my
I
nigga.
get you.
Like, you can't,
It's my five.
All right, okay, so I get it.
This is my rule.
I get it, but I don't like the reference that you made in regards to Lil Wayne saying those are reference records and 50 Cent did the same fucking thing.
So they reference records.
They're not reference records, bro.
What's the difference between
a reference record? Hold on.
Let me go direct.
Don't twist
What's the difference between what Wayne did on Show Me What You Got and what Drake did on 10 Bands?
Somebody. Okay, let me rephrase this right.
And I'm diehard Wayne. Wayne is my first album I bought.
That record was intended. What happened on 10 Bands was that record was intended for Drake, right? That was the intention was, I'm gonna write this for you, and then you being who you are and your cadence or whatever is gonna sound better than what I can do. So here's the skeleton, right? What happened with 50 Cent and them was they just heard a record that wasn't intended for them. Chingy right there wasn't intended for him. Missy Work It wasn't intended for them, and which ended up on an actual remix, an actual project. So what 50 did was he took the record and just made it his own.
But 50 records didn't match the flow.
It was more fun.
No, that's what I'm saying. 50 records didn't match the flow. A lot of Wayne records matched the exact flow of the record that he jacked. And he just input different things.
Two things can be true.
Okay.
Two things can be true. Two things can be, such and such didn't match the flow, but made it his own. Another thing can be true is that person matched the flow and elevated it, right? So who in my top 5 applies to this? I'm not saying Wayne is not top 10, he's not phenomenal. Right.
What I'm saying is that's where that's the differentiator. That's the differentiator.
Okay.
Because
I can't argue on that. Yeah.
My favorite Wayne album is Carter 1.
Not a bad song.
I think Carter 2 is his best album.
That's what I said, between Carter 2 and Carter 3 for me. I think it can go either way.
I think Carter 2 is his volume 2. Whereas
Carter 3 is his volume 2.
Numbers wise. But when I say Carter 2, I mean volume 2, to me, Reasonable Doubt is one end of the spectrum. Volume 1 went to a whole other end of the spectrum.
Which is one of his best albums.
Volume 2 is where he met in the middle.
Yeah, mainstream one.
So that's what I feel like Carter 2 was. Carter 2 is where he met in the middle. I feel like Carter 3 is too far the other way.
That's what Volume 2 was.
You think so?
Yes.
Volume 2 had a lot of street records.
Volume 2 had Money Cash Hoes, Money Anything, Nigga What, Nigga Who, Hard Not Life, and 2 more records. Those are 4 right there that are huge.
Isn't
4?
No, that's on Volume 1.
4 right there that are fucking immaculate.
But they street records.
Those are not street. Hard Not Life is not a street record.
Hard Not Life, no.
Nigga What, Nigga Who is not a street record.
Yeah, it is. Nigga, what is the title?
All right. It's not a street. It's not. Money Cash Hoes, street record. Money Anything is not even a street record.
Money Anything ain't a street record. But that.
Right, so that's 3.
You want to have our JD
that's
debate?
That's 3. I just gave you 3 records, the biggest records off that album that are not street records. Nigga What, Nigga Who?
How many songs?
Debatable.
15?
It's 16, 17.
That's a lot of records. I feel like Carter 2 is just too commercial.
Volume 2.
I mean, Carter 3 is too commercial.
Volume 2 is extremely commercial. We can do we can do this all day.
And I feel like
we can go round and round.
And I feel like Lollipop ruined rap, but that's another story.
You be throwing little bones out there just to see if I'm gonna pick up on it.
No, I'm dead ass. These are
Why
real.
did Lollipop ruin rap?
Lollipop is when he taught niggas that they didn't have to say nothing to have a smash.
So he's the blame for that?
So the auto-tune effect was already coming into a play, right? Nobody can spit the Lollipop verse.
If we want to talk about an MC Hammer blame, we can blame that nigga for doing that shit. We can blame Vanilla Ice for it.
We do give them niggas the flack.
All right, so let's not act like Lollipop was the one that sent it over the fucking moon.
Lollipop was
That nigga made a hit with Static Major, rest in peace.
Rest in peace.
And just made a good fucking record, made a party record.
And I think that's when he stopped caring about rap for a while.
The nigga's 12 years old. Volume 3, like Carter 3?
So?
What else I got to prove? Tell me.
I don't care, it's a trash song.
All right, it's a trash song, but one of his biggest songs to date.
And now we got a whole plethora of trash hits.
Yeah, Wayne's not the flag. He's not the flagship for that.
I'm giving
Wayne's
that.
not the flagship for that.
I
can name about 4 or 5 other artists that are flagship for trash shit.
I'm giving that to Wayne, and I'm giving drug using rap to Wayne.
So Gucci don't get none of that?
Gucci?
Lean sipper.
You get that to Gucci? We was here. I'm done. I'm not debating you. I just never associate, but I'm a Jeezy fan.
What do you associate Gucci with? Not health?
Listen, I'm team Jeezy.
Okay.
So I wasn't real high on Gucci. That's why I'm asking more niggas that was here.
I'm aware. Like, nigga, Gucci wasn't come on, bro. Like, we knew what Gucci was doing. And nigga, look at him. Look.
You feel like Gucci made it cool to be a user? Like he played a part?
He was sipping. Like
He played a role, bro.
He played a role in that
I'm
shit.
not even.
You gotta think about pre-prison Gucci. Like
I'm not
big
talking about
gut
now.
Gucci.
I'm talking about yeah.
I
Like-
can see that.
Gucci, you know how many children Gucci got right now in the game?
I can see that.
How many children
That's
that born from him?
See, that's a valid point. I never thought about it though. Cause I just feel like Wayne was the biggest nigga in the world.
Nigga, nah, bro. Like, there's so many children that spawn from Gucci.
Yeah, Gucci is the godfather around here.
Like, bro, what are we talking about?
I just don't think. I think the game followed the leader though.
Gucci was one of the niggas too. Like, let's not act like Gucci wasn't.
I live in Atlanta, bro. I'm not dissing Gucci. I'm just saying.
No. Nobody dissing Gucci. I'm just saying, like.
No, I'm saying I'm not going to tell you that he's not one of the ones.
No, yeah, but I'm just saying, like, in regards to the conversation we're having, he was one of those guys that was doing and that people followed.
I can see
And
that.
yeah, I can see that. Wayne was one of those guys too, but Gucci was neck and neck with him. Why do you think he looked like he looked now?
I love Wayne though. But I say all that to say I can have these strong points, and I still can quote more Wayne than most people. Like I still love Wayne.
That's fine.
It's just
it's subjective. It's good. I'm just saying Wayne don't got a better album than American Gangster or Volume 1.
Let's pivot.
All right, cool.
And I said yes, and I said that with
So-
a straight face.
Hold on, say it one more time.
I said that with a straight face.
Hold on, what you said before that? What's the point?
Said Wayne doesn't have a better album than Volume 1 or American Gangster, and I said that.
I don't
with a
think
straight
Wayne
face.
has a better album than any Jay-Z album.
Let's pivot because we can be here.
Yeah, I was about to say we could sit here.
I
and talk.
said
we
that
can
with a
debate
straight
albums,
face.
Bro, yeah,
talk
we can
about
do this
different
all fucking
artists
day.
all day, but I really just want to talk about Trav owns HBUC, which is a 25,000 square foot studio space.
We own.
We own. I've been directing for close to 10 years. I mean, every artist you can probably name, I probably work with. But for you, I just wanted to talk about you took Henny Palooza from like A to Z. In a sense, I just want to talk about that in between. Like, what was that process like? Like, what was some of like those struggles and like what do those things like look like for you?
I mean, one, I'm not gonna take all the credit because it was a multitude of people who were involved in it. Cam and Rory and Benner and Kaz and Austin and Bruno, Raven. It's so many people that helped us push and get us to where we needed to be. But we were figuring it out on the fly. Like I'm not gonna say here a lot of you like we had a business model and
Right.
we knew who to contact and this, that, and the third. Like we knew who had expertise in certain areas, right? One person may have expertise in, event production. Another person may have an expertise in event planning.
Right.
Another person may have expertise in being a great fucking DJ.
Right.
So Raven was our photographer, Austin Mills, and my guy Mac Doc from Tudo Boys, DJs, Genius and HD. I was the host. So it was like, yo, you get on the mic and turn this shit up.
Right.
Cam threw events, so he knew how to maneuver, and Rory, general manager, knew how to control the entire spectrosphere, like knew where to tell you to go and where you to go.
Right.
So we all tapped into our our special places of expertise. And luckily, we just made it work. And fortunately for us, brands saw it, and venues trusted us, and, Rock Nation, Duce, and Jay saw that we had a great thing going. So that's why we were able to be first successful in that time frame.
Yeah.
And it was fun.
Another question I wanted to ask too. At what point in your, ventures with like Henny Palooza and like everything else just in general, like at what point where you was like, man, fuck this shit, like I'm done?
Oh, that's a good question.
That's a great question.
That's a great question. That happened around the pandemic. Some unfortunate things happened in regards to Duce Palooza. COVID, obviously, just a monster within its own. My mom passed, and then my best friend passed. So at that particular, and everything was like kind of like a bowling ball. It was just like happening.
Snowball effect. It just one thing after another.
Snowball effect. So yeah, like that in that time frame around 2019, through like that first 3 or 4 months, a lot of bullshit was happening, and you're just like, what's all this for? Right? You're just looking at people around you. You're looking at things that are happening around you, and not to say everything is everyone else's fault, because you got to have accountability in certain situations you're in because of yourself.
Right.
But that was the last time I felt that, like, man, fuck this shit. Like, because I remember when I was in the hospital with my mom and she had passed, and I was just like, yo, I'm done. Like, I'm quitting all this Apple and all this industry shit, and I'm coming back to Jersey, and I'm just gonna work at a hotel. Because I had like 5-6 years of hotel experience. So like, I knew I could just fall back into that and just be a regular person, just whatever the case is. But my sister was like, your mother would hate you for doing that. Your mother would, be so disappointed, X, Y, and Z. But yeah, that was that moment. I remember that moment vividly. I'm just like, man, fuck this. This is like the weight of the world on your shoulders. Then you losing jobs because of COVID. So like, we don't know what the fuck a COVID is. We don't know how long
it is, how it's gonna be,
now
or
we're
whatever.
stuck in the house, and niggas is that like.
Right.
So yeah, I was dark thoughts and just like, what is this?
Yeah.
So that was the last time. But like, you progress and you try to maneuver and pivot and figure it out. And that's like my mantra to this day. It's just like, yo, let's just figure it out.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Go ahead.
Do you cause your mom was your biggest fan, man. I used to love watching you and your mom's interactions and you posting the screenshots and do you feel like, and I know this is a tough question, but do you feel like your career cheated you of time with your mom?
No. I don't, because me and my mom spent a lot of time, like when I was younger, like we spent a lot of time together. We joked around a lot. If anybody knows me or her or both of us, like they know how, similar me and her are. Like just from our looks, from our personalities, from our characters, from how we talk, how we deal with people. If anything, like she saw and she loved it. Like she loved everything I was doing. She was excited. She was
the number one fan.
Yeah, she got goosebumps. Like I made her proud. Like she called me the boy in the basement when I was doing the blog, and like just had little bullshit nicknames for me. And I remember one night we went out to dinner at Outback Steakhouses, one of her favorite spots. And one of her, like, she was a guidance counselor in Franklin High School in New Jersey. And one of her former students was working there. And he pulled up to the table and she was like, this is my son, and he this, that, and the third. So she was like, come here, let me talk to you. I was like, what's up? She was like, I want to introduce you to one of my former students. He wants to do what you do. I'm like, oh, what's up? My name is Lowkey. I do this, that, and the third. So after me and him finished talking, she pulled me to the side. She was like, don't ever let me hear you call yourself Lowkey. I named you Nile.
You did that today too.
Oh, yeah.
You corrected it.
You saw that, right?
Yeah.
She was like, I named you Nile Taylor Ivey. This low-key shit and that's cute, that's fun, I'm glad you're successful, but you're not, you're Nile. So that's how I knew she stripped everything about what I've done and who I've worked with, who I've traveled with. Like, all that shit don't matter to her. So that's why I say to you, like, nah, I don't feel like I was treated out of shit, because she knew who her son was.
Yeah.
And that was that. So as long as she knew who that was, and I never got lost in that, I'm like, man, I'm glad that she got to see me host and be on radio, because we would cry and argue and bicker back and forth about me turning down jobs or not getting jobs. But that's why I always tell people, I'm like, yo, we'll figure it out. That was her best piece of advice to me. You'll figure it out. Until this day, I go through bullshit, I go through nonsense. All I hear is her saying, you'll figure it out. And a couple of days later, a couple of hours later,
You figured it out?
Yeah. So I guess just to pick it back out that last question, bro. Like, so, like, what was it that really, like, all right, like, I can continue doing what I'm doing to kind of get out of this spot that I'm in?
In regards to just like after she passed?
No, not that. Just like when you was at that lowest point of being like, man, fuck this shit, I'm done with like Apple Music. I'm about to go work at a hotel. Like, at what was it that made you be like, all right, like I'm about to take this shit full on and we gonna figure it out?
I went right back to work. 2 days after she died, I went right back to work.
So you ain't sitting in it that long?
I haven't. She passed on Christmas Eve, 2019. I was back at work December 27th. Right back in the studio. And my producer's like, what are you doing? Like, what else am I supposed to do? Like, where else do I go? Right? Like, I don't really go to church like that. I mean, like, I don't want to go home because, obviously. Yeah. So I'm like, where else do I go? All right, go back to the studio.
And people think that's like not healthy or whatever.
Everyone has the variation of what health is in regards to death and what grievances in regards to death. Like, that's all right, cool. Like, my innate ability or reaction was go back to work. And for the 2 hours I was there, I pulled myself up and had a ball.
That makes perfect sense to me because
like, what else am I supposed to do?
I think growing up too, rap was always how we dealt with everything. Like, even when
music is how you deal with shit.
How you deal with everything.
You know what I mean? Music, like lyrics and production and just videos, and like I see and I hear her in certain songs. You know what I mean? Like that shit carries you, that shit pushes you, that shit like elevates you, it gives you energy, it gives you emotion. Like, what am I supposed to do without that? So you think I'm not gonna go back to work? You think I'm just gonna sit in my apartment and do something dumb? Right. Or react or act out or, you know what I mean? Like, no, nigga, let's go, all right. One, let's go get some money. And two, let's go back to doing what you love. Yeah. And do what you knew, she knew what you loved. And everyone just had this like blinding look, like, are you really here? Right. I'm like, bro, just turn the mic on, let me just do what I gotta do. Yeah. Just leave me alone. And that was that.
And let me cook.
And just let me cook.
And I feel like I tell people there's nothing I'd rather do than work. And people think I'm nuts. And I'm like, and women I've dated or whatever, I was like, you would never tell me that I spend too much time with you.
Right.
I love what I do. At every point in my career, whether I was in medical field, especially since I've been like full on music business, even though I kind of hate the music business, I love music.
Yeah.
But
there's still a part of it that's still like, oh, yeah, okay, I can still
like, this is me.
Yeah,
like,
I can still do it.
if you turn this shit off forever, I would die. So, like, you would never tell me I spend too much time with you, so why you tell me I spend too much time with work?
And it's crazy that you said that. It's just like, yeah, like, if I didn't go back to work, I don't know what would happen. Like, and if it didn't mean that much to her, maybe I wouldn't have gone back.
Yeah.
But because I knew how much that meant to her, because I knew she knew how much I wanted a radio job, a radio show, because I knew and how fresh it was, it's like, bro, like, there's nothing else for you to do.
Right.
And that might be the way you talk to her.
Fact.
And that'd be that. So.
Have you, this is a common subject, and we're gonna get out of here. How is your work life help or hurt your dating life? And this is not really a change agents conversation, but because we've It's a time thing.
No, it hurts. It hurts. It's hurting. Because like you just said, like, I love the work. I love the travel. I love to. It does hurt. But when you find someone who can respect the urgency to fulfill that need of work.
She must not speak English.
Oh my God.
I'm just playing.
When you find someone that can respect the urgency to fulfill what you like to do, then you gotta you hold on to that person.
Yeah.
It's tough.
It's no, is it?
It's tough.
But when you find when that person respects your urgency, when that person respects, like, yo, I love how much your work makes you happy, because then it spills into them.
Right.
Because if you're happy here,
Yeah,
you're gonna be 10 times happier on the other side.
Yeah. I think the key thing that we're not even really talking about yet is, like we talk about, like, your cup being full, your cup being low and stuff like that. Like, for most people, like, work, it takes away from the cup. But for us, it adds. It adds to our cups. So when we go to work, we do the things that we do the things that we love, we can pour into our partners. But if we don't have that, it's like, how can I pour into you?
And I don't want to harp on it too much, but sometimes, like, the trappings and the frustrations of this business alone can push back into them.
Definitely.
And I've done that. Like, when I've been frustrated, or I've been upset, or just like disappointed with certain things, I push back into that person.
Right.
And that's not fair. But as long as you not articulate, hey, like, this is not you.
Right.
I just had a bad day, or some dickhead did some dumb shit, or these niggas are doing different shit that I didn't plan on. Like, as long as that person can understand that, it's not him, it's the environment he's around.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's a tenfold, but once you find that person that can just understand that, you can write your own script and write your own honeymoon.
Right.
That's that.
I'm gonna get there one day. Low, bro, I want to thank you for coming down, bro. I hit you. You was like, whatever you need.
I told you.
You came right away. And second
you
episode.
booked this shit what, Friday?
Friday.
I was like,
Straight up.
I'll be here.
Hit Caleb Friday at like midnight, like, yo, we good for Tuesday? He's like, yeah. I was like, let's run it.
Right.
But I appreciate you, my boy. Change agent.
It's a pleasure.
Episode 2.
Appreciate you, bro.
We out.